Hello everyone, welcome to today's webinar. So before we start, I would like to remind you guys this is webinar, so you guys cannot turn on your microphone, but it is really welcome you guys to ask any questions during the webinar or at the end of that. So it may take some time to type, so when you got some ideas, please do type in the question or chat box. I will try to answer you guys questions. So first of all, any of you hear me? To ensure this the audio video works correctly. So anyone hear me? Okay, good. So let's begin. So today's topic is modern access and network discovery. So modern techniques for internal access identification. I'm the speaker, Kenneth Low, CISSP. I work for version 2 quite a long time. I think some of you guys will know me or met me personally when we still doing physical web seminar in Singapore. Anyway, so let's begin. So why discovery? So there's many ideas, but I do think support that an accurate inventory is the first step of network security or corporate security. So you don't secure what you don't know, right? So you got someone you love. First of all, you know him, right? So if you don't know what is in your network, what kind of service there, so how you can protect them, right? But it's difficult to having an up-to-date and clear inventory. So all the technology cannot keep up. So there's a room for innovation. That's why runZero comes in. So the right-hand side, you can see the chart, the pyramid for the security. So the first step is inventory, others is detection, threat, protection, whatever. So those questions you may ask yourself to find if there is something you can improve. It's strong. I recommend for guys who think it's not secure enough for your network or your site, but there's no idea what you should do. So strongly recommend you start from the bottom question. Can you name the assets you are defining, defeating? How, yeah, and goes up. Can you detect? Can you respond? This and that. So no worries, I will share you guys the PowerPoint so you can take a look, or you can Google it, the pyramid of security, whatever you can find it. So there's a few different type of access discovery. In old days, if you want to do external access discovery, like to ensure all your access on the data center, on the cloud, or wherever, a little bit difficult. People may use a Whois, ARIN, or other database, DNS to search it. It's a little bit difficult, but nowadays it's pretty easy because every website you will use SSL, I mean TLS, and then you need to certificate those search the CA signed. That means you can easily find it in the internet, and there's many tools to do that. So there's some open source tools, AM, ASSS, or whatever. So it's quick and easy. Yeah, so you can take a note, try a little bit. So it may help you to find something you not expect that is using your search. But the main issue is internal network discovery. Some may say, okay, it's fine. I use some tools to scan. It works perfectly. Well, is it really? So there's some problem that we face when doing the internal network discovery. Some may rely on SMMP. It works for most of the device which support SMMP version 2 or version 3. It is strongly recommend you go for version 3 if possible, because it's less difficult, less easy to get in, to break in. So it's protected for data encrypted, so it's more safe. At least go for version 2. Have a better, longer commit string, but there's a limit. So, and there's some problem for some of the device when they implement the SMMP version 2. So go for version 3, then you can more secure and more handy way. But not device support SMMP. If you run a pure Windows environment, you may say, okay, I can do it AD, WMI, but there's nothing called pure Windows environment actually. At least you got switches, routers, firewall. You may run in Windows on the firewall or even the router, but I think it's a little bit difficult to use a Windows to run a switch, right? I don't think someone will do that, right? So you miss something. Another ICMP or others Mmap scan, it is not complete at all. So this is a very limited if you run SIMP or others. So it's not complete, or you may able to find, oh, this is IP address here, and this and that, but you cannot quickly identify what it is, or is that two IP belongs to same device. So there's a challenge besides the old technology. So nowadays we got SDN, we got virtualizations, cloud, and containers. Well, I think containers is one of the biggest issue actually, because it's not temporary, and it is all, most of the containers are temporary. They will up and down randomly. So it's difficult to identify. So we need some sort of ways to manage them and make sure you know how many containers is actually running, which is legitimate, which is not. And also on the other hand, we do employ many security solutions on your network. Similarly, if you good enough, you implement zero trust architecture, do a micro segmentation of the network. So you will find the existing old access discovery technology is very difficult to make it works, or it will become clumsy to do that. So it's not that easy to do that. And also we start to have more and more unmanaged device. So people just buy a computer, turn it on, maybe join the AD, or even don't join the AD or the cloud AAD, whatever. They just log into the cloud service, then start to work. So now we talk about zero touch deployment. The administrator is never see the device before they reach the customer, or no, I mean the user's desktop at home. So many of unmanaged device or difficult to manage. And Active Directory nowadays is a little bit left behind. It cannot manage Mac correctly. It needs to integrate with AAD to support remote users, satellite office. So relying on Active Directory is a little bit difficult to do a proper internal discovery for your assets, right? So even you do network discovery, there's two ways to do that. So one is active discovery. The second one is called passive discovery. So let's talk about the problem of active discovery. One of the things is really want to remind you guys, some of the active discovery tools may ask you to provide a credential to access the network, especially for server. Do not put a high privilege account there. Don't put your domain administrator, domain admin accounts there. That can be a very big problem because the way is working this way. So you got a tools, you got a credential. When they access the device, it will try to use a credential to access the device to pull the information you want, right? The problem is you never know this device is legitimate or not after you pull the information. That means you already provide a credential to all of the device, including, for example, there's a VM created by hackers, a honeypot created by hackers, or the BYOD device that there's employ some sniffers there. So think twice before you put any credential to some active discovery tools. I don't say it's not usable or not. I don't say you shouldn't use it, but think twice which account you should use. And also, it is very easy to be intercepted by some man-in-the-middle attacks like the IP spoofing. Yeah. So and difficult to use a low privilege account. If there's a guest account, it eliminates, right? You could go guest credential, that means no credential. So it's quite a little bit difficult to get a balance what kind of credential we put it, but I don't suggest you put a very high privilege account anyway. And it is not efficient because there's now we got some endpoint, we got firewalls, we got network segmentation, so it may block a certain network or device. So the hardened device, you cannot scan anything, even you got a credential. And BYOD, mobile device, IoT may require different technology. Those active scan may not get the information that enough from your point of view. For example, you may need to know the IP cam or even you got OT stuff there. You want to know the firmware version. It's not that easy to do that, right? So there's a challenge. So yeah. So there's a common way to do passive scan. The typical one is do the network mirroring. So we mirror the traffic to collect information. So that works with IT and OT. And one of the issue or one of the phenomenon is companies start to have OT environment crossover into IT or share the same infrastructure. Now the old days is completely separate, but when we talk about big data, we talk about cloud or the edge technology. Seems we got to integrate the OT and IT environment, but it's so that's why passive scan can help. You can collect a little bit more than active scan, but of course it is a little bit resources intensive. So if, for example, you use gray cortex, the server should be a little bit strong in order to handle all the mirror traffic, right? So someone may try POC before gray cortex. It's a great product, but it also needs some resources. So in the point of view of passive scan of discovery, it works, but you need something to do tap the traffic, and sometimes where it depends on the fingerprinting on the device. I mean the solutions like gray cortex. Typically, we can find like the IT and OT stuff. It's fine, but if you got Sometimes the switches they more or less is less active to get those information. So we need something more. So I quickly go through that. So the active discovery research, there's many research in 19th and 2000s, man. So there's that we MF do create lots of technology, but is very actually used. So fingerprinting it become more and more important and relevant in the world of virtualization as the end. So we do such we in our solution we do lots of fingerprinting and passive active scan to get more information. So you also of course you can improve the active direct discovery. So in conclusion, if you need something usable, effective access discovery nowadays, we need something there's no credential required for AD or SMP or SSH. Didn't require network mirroring, and we have pretty good accuracy on the detection or fingerprinting of device, and something we support fired systems, mobile device, and even it works across routers or network segment. So that's why we have runZero. So before we go for runZero, it is very important to mention here. So it's typical we do vulnerability scan and also access discovery. So what's the difference? Well, you may answer very right away. Vulnerability scan scans for vulnerabilities, right? Access discovery and discovery access. So one very important thing is you cannot make use of the vulnerability scan as an access discovery. Why? Because those vulnerability scanner may have some limitation. They will only discover or find those devices that they support. So if there's no device they didn't support, or there's no the OS or system didn't have a database in their scanner, they don't help you anything. So it only rely on the fingerprinting of the database on those vulnerabilities. So you cannot make use of the vulnerability scan as the access discovery tools. But it's very good that we integrate both together, right? So talk about vulnerabilities a little bit. People may get confused, and they easy to think that okay, I know there's a vulnerabilities, so next fix those high score most important vulnerabilities. But this action or behavior, also known by hackers. So, for example, on the right-hand side, and the 2021 most explored vulnerability is FortiGate, and you can see that it is 6.5. It means it's not red in color. It's orange in color. It's a middle severity. So people miss it. Agree? So many administrators will only apply high risk patches. For other mid and low severity vulnerabilities patches, they said they will do that, but they are too busy to do that. Okay, so prioritizing for the vulnerability is not shouldn't only on the severity of the on the vulnerability severity only. So nowadays we need patchless protection, We need context-based detection, not just the vulnerability score. Okay. So there's a chart from our product we're selling. It's called Topia. It will analyze for the vulnerability and give you some highlights and telling you the context. Is this vulnerability is easy to exploit? Is this already exploiting on the real world environment? Is your device connecting to the internet? So it provide you a very good insight to telling you, okay, it is not just because it's high severity, so you need to patch it, and also because the vulnerability is dangerous, or it is easy to be explored in your environment, or there's an active explorer already in the internet. So we got an engine to detect and telling you what should you do. Okay, let's back to the some technology on the active discovery. So there's some here is some tricks that we are using. There's many, but I pick a few that you guys may easy to understand. So I will go to the demo later on. So when you do a unauthenticated pops on the SMB Samba, so the share folder of Windows, actually you can collect quite many information. You need not to be using a prepaid account or AD account, but it will return my address, will return the domain name or work group name, IP address, and many information. And also, we also can detect if the device is multi-home device using this technology. So this is why we can tell you how many network for this device. For example, there's a Wi-Fi, there's a landline, there's a iPhone connection at the same time. So we can identify with this technology to help you identify where is the hidden breach in your network. So also we make use of the MAC address fingerprinting. For the MAC address, in recent year we got a very good database. There's something called Deep MAC. You can Google it in GitHub. So it got many interesting information you can make sure of that. But of course, the very legacy data is not available, but we do make use of it. And also we can get the MAC address to identify as Wi-Fi, Bluetooth from a MAC device from the MAC address itself. So it tells which OS, which manufacturer with the MAC address itself. Also, we got something of Mac OS. So anyway, we skip that. Also, when you using like some firewall like Fortinet, Sonic Wall, or even some of the web-based solution like the ESET Protect server, there's a web console, which is there's a self-signed cert, right? So there is many things we can extract from the TLS certificate. Sometimes it's sensitive. For example, if you got a Fortinet, you may take a look. You download the SSL cert, the server cert from the Fortinet. You can find the serial number there. Okay, so Sonic Wall will tell you the IP address. There the share folder will tell you the server tag. So it helps a lot when we want to do the fingerprinting. So we got the HTTPS connection, we got the cert, we know what vendor it is. We even know the serial number sometimes. We know the OS model. It's full of information. So, but it won't change because this is some way has to be operate in this way. So it's very interesting way. You can take a look to test it. So this is example. This one is Synology, okay, and you can find is the This one is Google. We got the serial number, and we got Palo Alto networks. We can see there's a Chromecast version. So we can do data mining from different angle to combine and give you very complete information for the devices. So also there's some proprietary protocols from the vendors. Usually it's not documented, but there's many info from the paint tags like a Synology, Netgear, Asus border, and also it do many broadcasts. So you will know which one like the scanner love to broadcast the network or scan your network to find them share folders to write for the scan files, right? And the printers will keep telling all the computers, I'm printer, please use me. And but of course it includes some serial numbers, models, whatever. So we can make to that to do the active discovery for your device. So for example, we can get the address here. Okay. So let's go to the one of the problem for the multi-home device. When we do the network discovery, sometimes we are not just do the we just not do the access inventory for you. One very important we would like to do also is we find out some multi-home device. So what means multi-home device is something that have connect more than one network. It should be fine, but sometimes it will create a bridge for your different network segment, and it jeopardizes the security design for network segmentation. For example, this is one of the chart report which you can generate. So this is a laptop. One hand is connected to the internet, maybe VPN or whatever. So on the other hand, it connect to the internal network. So it become a bridge to let this kind of maybe third party or external network access your internal network through this laptop. I think in many cases it's not that desirable, right? Not so great, but it is difficult to be found. So that's why we mentioned about the in the multi-home device when we do the discovery. So we will find such kind of riches. We will show you by the report. You don't need to do anything, just scan your network, then you can get the report. And you can see and find out such kind of loophole. And multi-home device, on the other hand, creates a problem. Uniqueness. So for example, if there's a physical device in your network, they may change the IP address, right? When there's a cluster, they got a no IP address, and they got a cluster virtual IP address, so it become confusing. So uniqueness detection is an art. So we try hard to help you to identify the device, and also it's showing you the IP history for the device. For example, you have a Mac, you're using different subnet, different Wi-Fi, different landline. It will pop up in entry, maybe from other solutions with different IP. It can be a different row of records, but we will combine it and show you what, and tell you the history. So it is very useful, right? So you won't confused by those duplicated records. Make the inventory is view inventory and let it really useful. Sorry. So let's talk about the product. So we discussed why we need a access discovery, what's the challenge, what's what the common way and what's the disadvantage, what kind of technology, runZero employ. It is thousands, but I just pick some that are more easy to understand. So how runZero works? First of all, they got a cloud console, so you can register and get the console login, and you download their agent. We call the runZero scanner. So you can install to any of your network segment, and it will schedule to actively scan your network, and then it will upload information to the runZero cloud console. Then you have a database on the cloud. You can do the search, you can filter, you can generate report. So it support multiple explorer, or I mean the scanner. So you can install it in the different subnet, different sites, or even put it in the cloud. It works perfect. And it can also discover the switches, firewall, router, IoT device, Windows server, database, whatever. So that's how the Explorer works. Of course, as I mentioned, it employ many different technology. It's not just a simple network scan. It also collects some network packet, broadcast packet, feedback on the pump of the SMB, or when we connect to HTTP or HTTPS, we capture the screen to collect those useful information to help you to maintain this most up-to-date access list, and also telling you what device it is, which OS, firmware, this and that. So it is how it looks. So we got the inventory here. You can see with the IP address, it's up or down, the attributes, hostname, OS, what type of this, what the hardware vendor is it, and also this MAC address, age, and MAC vendor. Those are the network card. That means the network card vendor. So there's many more, and also you can integrate some third-party API to retrieve additional access, like we can integrate to some public cloud. So you may not need to install the agent there, but usually we suggest you to still run the scanner with integration. Then you can get much more information, but you won't miss anything. So you see, even we can discover APC UPS. So sometimes it's important, right? So after scanning, we can generate some network map like this. So even the port number, you highlight the line, you can got the port number. So we got, if you give us the SMP credential, we can pop the SMP information from the switches, and then we combine the IP address and MAC and port something information like this to combine this chart. And you can see this switch connect to this one, and this one also connect to this one, this one connect to this one, which one is connected to which switches, right? So you don't need to maintain your own network diagram, right? So you just run the report, and you can move. So if you want it to make look better, you can move those switches and scale it up and down, do what you want. Also, it will generate something like this, as I shown before, which is multi-home device. So you can see for this router, we have a few different segments, but the problem is this device, it connects to internet directly, but this is a data related device, so not so great, right? Sometimes in some corporate, there's a full of red dots here, like it's not so good, right? And also we can get into very detail. So we got the organization, You can have multiple organizations. So we support multi-tenant. So if even your console, same console, you can put like different customer there or that different site there to separate them. And the OS, hardware, what first we seen, what the icon, and many other information. We got lots of attributes. So you can also filter search those attributes in the cloud console. So on the other hand, as we mentioned that we can integrate with we strongly recommend you guys to integrate with vulnerability scan or vulnerability management tools. So when you integrate those information, first of all, you can ensure that you do manage those vulnerability on all the device in your network, not just that you think you already manage, because hackers won't wait you or so polite that they don't attack for device that's not managed, right? So when we discover a 200 Windows server in your network, but if you only got 180 server device in the vulnerability management, that means you miss 20. Let's do it better, right? So it's always suggest you integrate vulnerability scanners with our access discovery runZero, like Topia, and also Topia do provide very good functionality on the vulnerability management, because it not just provide you patching. It's not patch management, not just patch management. It's a vulnerability management tools. It will actively scan your device, and we will actively analyze those applications to find those known and unknown vulnerabilities and give you patchless protection. Regardless there's a patch available or not, we protect it, and we use context to tell you if that patch is really urgent or not. It's not just severity, as I mentioned. Sometimes the in the mid severity is more critical if there's very active scan. And also, as I mentioned, we will analyze the application libraries and do some active hacking on those libraries. It's not on your device, no, don't worry. We do it in our cloud, and we will try using different known technology to try and error on all the libraries, sub libraries, helping exe tools, exes of your software. For example, for the Firefox, there are few executable. We usually use Firefox, right? But there's an updater, there's a helper, there's a plugin manager, and there's some service that we usually not so care of, are not notified that it exists, but that may create a problem, right? So we may need to patch it. So we will actively discovery and telling you that, okay, for example, this plugin container got a CVE, it is very easy to exploit. So we will provide you solutions. Even they don't have patched yet, we will give you a solution, have a patchless protection. So yeah, something like this. So this is a console. I don't want to emphasize too much. And also we Topia also got a Nmap never scan. It's not access discovery. It's vulnerability scan. Because for Topia we need to install agent. For those device is not covered by agent. For example, the switches, firewall, we will use this MS script to scan it and integrate to the interface. So it's really fully cover all your assets if you use it properly. So with this integration, you can handle your vulnerability and access recovery quite completely. So there's some reports. So before I go to the last few slides, let me do a quick demo. And do you guys got any questions for me? So let's go to the demo organization because they got full of information. So when you log in the console, you can see all the inventory here. Okay, you got the list of device, and also on the dashboard you can see how many recent scan, how many recent assets that top in, what is the top asset, or this most of them is server, what OS, hardware, this and that. And also, as I mentioned, there's some integration. So besides, you can integrate with AWS, Azure. Also, you can integrate like CrowdStrike or some Nexus and other devices or solutions to ensure that the information here is more complete and more handy. What will be a typical use case? Of course, we can generate access list, of course, right? But for example, when there's a security tools, pop you say there's an alert from your device, or maybe an IP address or MAC address, different problems. But sometimes you are really not so sure what it is. So you can just filter here. See, you can find two devices here. So this one used 40 before, and now this is 40. And you can see, okay, this is Synology NAS. So for example, I identify is this one. I can find the OS and find the version, and you know where the firmware is up to date. And also you can see if you got integrated vulnerabilities list, you can see it. You find here what are the open ports, if there is a service here open, long list. So different port, different information. So for example, if the alert is talking about the port 5000, you guys may know there's a management port for them. So you can see if they're open, whatever, so you know the service. Because when it's talk about 5000, you know, okay, maybe there's some attack on your port. Then you may need to think about, okay, what's the source port? Why I can let the people access this device? Should I open this port to some of the network? So it do help you to identify what it is, what happens to the device, what ports and service running, so you can make use of it very quickly. It's very user friendly to network administrators, server teams, desktop, or help desk, right? So, or you can search by service, search by screenshot. So we will do screen capture for all those web-based consoles. So you will find all sorts of Netgear console. So you'll find a Windows console. What is this? I don't know. And many others. So sometimes you will find an IP address, but you never know what it is. For example, this one I don't very sure what it is. It is called TrendNet. Then if I find there's attack to target this stuff, then I can Google TrendNet to see what it is, right? So or I can go to the device and see, okay, this is IP cam. Okay, see, you got the IP cam. Of course, it won't always be perfect. No one knows everything on the earth. So if you got some comments or suggestion, you just put it here. Telling vendors, for example, the OS, it shouldn't be Linux, it should be BSD, whatever you submit to vendor, they will help you to update the database. Also, let me show you a little bit for the reports. So let me show you the reports. So we have, for example, the switch topology that I already shown before. So these are just switches that I can expand. You can see all the device, or you can filter by different sites. Okay, and other thing is the network bridge, as I mentioned. You can find those multi-home device that bridge into the internet. That's not good, not great. And you can find out the utilization of those different private subnet, how many percent, how many IP address are already used, and also there's one very important report when you take a look on the RFC coverage. So what is this one? So sometimes you may need to do a very full scan on your network, and then you will find something interesting. For example, if your local network is using 192.168 something, but sometimes you will find something called 10.0.0.1, 10.10.10.10. Well, sometimes it may be container, but sometimes it can be a fake network device or fake IP created by hackers, or there's a hidden subnet created by your employees. So it's strongly recommend you guys, it do take times because there are really large number of IP address, but strongly recommend you guys to do some regular scan on through local level IP address to ensure there's some shadow subnet created by shadow IT. So that's the demo, and you may interest how we can deploy the agent. So we support, sorry. So there's no Explorer here. So you can download the we call Explorer to install to Windows, Linux, and Windows and Linux. So you can run it on this server or small device to do a scan. And one more thing is runZero, it supports self-host server, so it's not necessary to use their cloud, but of course you got to buy a license. So that's the introduction for runZero. It's just quick and easy to use, handy, quick access discovery tools to help you maintain your inventory. So let's back to slide. So runZero is here. So besides runZero, version 2 recently carry lots of different solutions, including like merchant detection services, response services, NDR, ADR, backup, cloud backup, email migration, HCI hardware, all sorts of solutions. So if you not see similar chart before, so I would like to share you guys, take a look. Or you contact ourselves to get our product catalog. We on and off update the catalog because we got many new solutions coming in. Okay, there's a final takeaway for everyone. So runZero actually can start from free. It's free for home and small networks, less than 256 device access. I mean access, not all device. It provides single sign-on MFA on the cloud, with no additional cost, no credit card required. So please sign here to get a trial. If you interested to buy a license to get more for larger network, or even you want to use it to provide service, to run a different we call project scan for temporary scanning, please contact ourselves. But it is great to have something handy and easy to use, but it is free. I think it can fit many of you guys. So don't skip this. Just log in and get a trial. And the free version can use for quite a long time. It does no expiry date actually. But I do think sooner or later, a few years later, they will add some cost there. But now you don't need to pay anything. So don't skip this. So if you guys got any question or something to ask, or maybe other products also okay, please type in. So this is all the content for today. I will be here for few more minutes. So please type question if you got. Otherwise, others you guys can may leave the webinar. We will send you guys the recording also for the presentation today. Yeah, that's all for today. Thank you. Okay, it seems there's no question from you guys. So thank you very much for your attention. So thank you very much. See you guys. Bye bye.